Inshallah, in this lesson, we'll be explaining how patterns of a masdar can give further information about its meaning. Now, in Arabic, the patterns are called awzan al-masdar. So the patterns of the masdar. And inshallah, we'll be covering the most important ones and the ones that are used in the Quran. Go through is fa'alan. This masdar pattern denotes movement and changing states. So for example, we have the verb tafa, which means he circumambulated the Kaaba. He made tawaf around the Kaaba. Now, here we have two masdars. The first one is tawaf, which means circumambulation. And we also have another masdar, which also means circumambulation, which is tawafan. Ala wazn fa'alan. So in other words, when we're referring to the action itself, we use tawaf. When we're referring to the action, as well as the movement and the changing states of the act of tawaf, then we use tawafan. So for example, if we're talking about the movement and the changing states of the pilgrim as he does his tawaf around the Kaaba, then it's more appropriate to use tawafan. Now this root can actually be used in a more general way. Tawafa could have the meaning of he went around, he patrolled, or he travelled. So, and it can also be used for things like a calamity or flood waters, with the meaning of it encircled or it engulfed. So these are more general meanings that are also associated with this root. Now, in the Quran actually, tawafan is never used for the act of circumambulating the Kaaba. It's actually used for flood waters or for flooding. And there's two places in the Quran that's mentioned with the alif lam, the definite article, al-tawafan. In both cases, they refer to the flood. One of them refers to the flood of Nuh alayhi salam, while the other refers to the flood that was sent as a punishment to Fir'aun. Now when there's a large amount of water, whether from rain or when the banks of a river overflow, the water just spreads throughout the land. And it's captured beautifully in this masdar, tawafan, because it denotes the movement of this water and how quickly it surrounds and engulfs the areas. Now another example, we have the verb hayya, which means to be alive. It's an intransitive verb. And this verb actually has two masdars. There's hayatun and there's hayawan. Now this word, hayawan, is actually used in modern times to mean a creature or an animal. But actually it's a masdar, to mean life. So both of these mean life. Now let's just see how the Quran uses these masdars. So here we have a know that the life of this world is but amusement and diversion and adornment, and then it goes on to list all the things of the life of this world. And we have the word here, hayat, hayatud dunya, the life of this world. This masdar hayat is actually used in reference to the dunya, to the life of this world. Also, it says here, الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم. So he who created death and life. So actually hayat, actually we'll come to know, is the opposite of maut, of death. So they're actually opposites of each other. So life and death. Now there's actually just one instance in the whole Quran where the other masdar is used on the wazn of fa'alan. And that verse is, it first of all starts off, it says, وَمَا هَذِهِ الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا إِلَّا لَهٌ وَلَعِبٌ. So here, hayat dunya, as we can see. But then it says, وَإِنَّ الدَّارَ الْآخِرَةَ لَهِيَ الْحَيَوَانِ. It's used, the masdar, on this pattern here. By doing this, not only does it mean life, but life with movement and changing states. So it has this meaning as well, built into it. And this is talking about the life in the abode of the hereafter. So in other words, there's complete freedom to do what you want. There's no restrictions. And this type of life, we have this Masdar use, al-hayawan, as opposed to the dunya. And as the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, that the life of this world is the prison of the believer. Okay, let's continue on.